What's going on, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you day number 4 of my 12 days of Christmas horror, and today I'm going to be talking about a film that I actually did on the Body Bags channel not too long ago, honestly, but it is a Christmas movie, and Christmas horror movie, if you will, and I figured, why not come on here and talk about it? It's one that I've always had mixed feelings on, and that is Black Christmas. Yes, so Black Christmas, the story here is you're following this group of sorority sisters. They are on their Christmas break for the holidays, but, you know, they're kind of sticking around the actual sorority house, and they're celebrating and having a good time. The beginning of the movie, though, they start getting these strange phone calls, and it's basically some guy making these really weird, disturbing noises, as well as making some obscene comments, and just kind of really freaking the girls out. And then some people start going missing, and some weird stuff starts to happen around the town, so the police get involved, and they're trying to figure out who this person is making these phone calls, as they believe he might be dangerous. So that is the basic idea of Black Christmas. Of course, this movie is known for sort of starting the, slasher movies. It predates, like, Halloween and Friday the 13th, of course, and it's, it's known as a proto-slasher because it's not over the top with slashing and killings and things like that. It's more of a slow burn, stalkerish type of film, so that's kind of what this movie was always known for. I mentioned in a previous video that I did not watch this until way later in life, that being, I want to say 3 years ago, probably in 2015 was the first time I ever actually checked this movie out, and I remember at the time I was really excited to finally watch it and left feeling pretty disappointed by the film because I just found it to be kind of boring and a little bit too slow at the time. I later watched it at a drive-in and had a totally different experience. I really enjoyed it because of the atmosphere. Then I watched it again, and recently when I did it on Body Bags, I kind of had the same original feelings where I was just a little bit bored by it and had trouble paying attention to it. Now this time around, honestly, this was probably my best viewing of the film. I feel like I fully paid attention to it and grasped what was all going on. I mean, it's a pretty basic story, it's about a stalker, and then people were winding up dead, and then you're just following these girls around as they try to figure out what the heck is going on. So it's not like it's a confusing story or anything like that. What I really mean is I really just paid attention to the details and all the characters and things like that, and I feel like I enjoyed it probably the most this time around than I ever have. I could definitely see why a lot of people love this film and they consider it one of their favorites, and it's considered a classic and all that. It's a very atmospheric movie. The weird thing about it, and I've mentioned this on the Body Bag show as well, is that it actually has a good bit of comedy going on in it, but you don't really feel it seems like a movie that's really, really dark, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, there's actually a lot of lighthearted comedic moments throughout this film, not just in certain parts, but like just throughout the entire movie. There are some funny moments, and I always found that weird because when I think about this movie, I think of a very dark and atmospheric film, but then it still manages to weave that in, and I actually do think it fits in pretty well. It definitely breaks up the tension at times, which can be seen as a bad thing to some people, but for me, in this movie in particular, I think it actually works, with the house mother kind of being an alcoholic, as well as the Barb character obviously being, having a bit of a drinking problem. It honestly works in this movie, and I really like all the girls. I know that I used to have a problem with them. I kind of found Barb to be annoying in the past, but I really didn't have a huge issue with her this time as much as I have in the past. She plays the part well, just kind of the annoying girl who says, not necessarily annoying, but kind of the girl who just says everything that's on her mind, and then she's always drinking, and she's just kind of the loudmouth of the group. I really like her. I like Phyllis and Jess. I think they all do really well. Like I said, the atmosphere is really good. The Christmas atmosphere, it's kind of that just very, I feel like there's two types of Christmas atmospheres. There's the ones where it's really bright and showy lights, kind of like in Red Christmas or even the Black Christmas remake. I feel like that's a totally different atmosphere than what this one has, but they both capture Christmas in very different ways. This one's more of that eerie, dreary, like it's very snowy, and you get the sense it's very just cold outside, and just takes place a lot in the dark and when it's snowing out, that very dreary type of atmosphere. The guy who made this movie, of course, made A Christmas Story, and that's one of my favorite Christmas movies, so I think he really nails it with just Christmas in general, so I really like that about this movie. The kills you get in this movie, like I said, they're few and far between. I believe there's a total of 5 kills, and 2 of them, or there might be 6 actually, but like 2 or 3 of them aren't even on screen. But, you know, the after effects are very eerie and effective, so I think it does a really solid job with that. Overall, it's definitely a good movie, definitely one that I could see why people want to put it on around Christmas time every year because of the atmosphere in general. Good one to watch just at nighttime when it's getting closer and closer to actual Christmas time, I would say. Is it one that I would necessarily go back to a whole lot? Probably not, honestly. The only reason I really watched it is for the sake of this video series, but as I said, I liked it a lot more this time around, and I'm starting to really come around on it, which is a rarity. I'm one of those people who's kind of, once I don't like a film, I really just don't like it, and I'm not someone where it like grows on me necessarily, but with this one, this is kind of an exception. I feel like it's one that I could definitely rewatch several more times in my lifetime, but probably not one that I would throw on every single Christmas time. So Black Christmas, I give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty solid stuff, honestly, and really good film for being an earlier slasher type of movie. So 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys once again for joining me for day number 4 of my 12 days of Christmas horror, and I will see you for day number 5.